safe streets, vibrant neighborhoods, successful business and commerce. These are things that make a healthy community. We are a diverse community, rural, suburban, urban, a multitude of languages and ethnicities, ages and experiences. We are a collaborative community. Public-private partnerships make us a model community that others want to follow. It is what makes us unique. It is what makes us strong. The employees of Kent County reflect our diversity and seek to serve our communities.
People in this county, in this area, we wrap our arms around each other. We come together to collaborate, to solve problems. We're all working for the good of the whole. And I think that's wonderful. And you can see it. You can see it as you drive around Kent County.
Our impact starts the day a baby is born and a birth certificate is issued, to protecting children from deadly diseases through vaccination, to the public safety and justice provided by law enforcement and the courts, to offering veterans services and caring for the elderly. Every day we work to keep our communities robust.
I think if you are somebody who's interested in serving your community, in building a strong knowledge base and a good group of people to work with, then the county is one of your best employment opportunities out there. It's been completely rewarding in every way I could possibly explain for 26 years, and I feel like I grow every single day still today.
Leading these dedicated employees, our 19-member Board of Commissioners and our County Administrator Controller, along with our elected officials and appointed department directors, placing emphasis on civic involvement, quality housing, vibrant neighborhoods, and strong, solid infrastructure to allow businesses to thrive. Professional, dedicated, collaborative, and innovative.
Behind the scenes, collaboration between foundations, charitable organizations, nonprofits, for-profit businesses, public sector demonstrated through the county, the city of Grand Rapids, the townships, all the cities and the villages in our area. If we don't come together, then we will not have the strength that we have today, and I only hope to build upon that.
Our aim is to make our communities the best they can be. We are involved in exciting development projects, sustainable recycling programs, and creative progressive prevention programming. We partner with elected officials, impacting policy ideas that become great achievements. We seek opportunities to reach out into the community and offer our services to help our residents make Kent County thrive.
Our relationship is solid, both from a staff standpoint at the county level as well as the Board of Commissioners. And they understand what we do and the benefits that we can do for the community, and vice versa. We couldn't do what we do without the help of Kent County.
While most of us are busy running our lives, Kent County's elected officials, administrator controller, and over 1,600 employees are serving the communities where we live our lives, so we can all have a place we are proud to call home. Kent County, its life well run.
Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, December the 17th, 2015. It's just after 8:30 a.m. This is our regularly scheduled Board of Commissioner meeting, and I would like to call this meeting to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Commissioner Antor.
Here.
Bolter.
Here.
Breivy.
Here.
Bulkowski.
Present.
Shivas.
Here.
Hennessy.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Coleman.
Here.
Mast.
Here.
Morgan.
Here.
Punstein.
Here.
Sawfeld.
Here.
Schroel.
Here.
Steck. Talon.
Here.
Vandermolen.
Here.
Vonk.
Here.
Voorhees. Chair.
Present. I'll now call on Commissioner Morgan for an invocation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to introduce our own Doug Sport once again. He always agrees to come in and do the invocation for us. We all know Doug. He's the Deputy Director of the DPW. He's been with us about 15 years. He's a Lieutenant Colonel in the Army Reserve, retired, and he's a chaplain. So I thought it was very fitting to invite Doug back for the invocation this morning. Mr. Sport,
thank you, Roger. Let's pray. Lord God, we ask your presence and your blessing upon this meeting. We thank you for those who have dedicated themselves to serve the county. We pray for wisdom, for insight. And Lord, we also pray for our employees today, that you'll give them the skill and understanding necessary to take care of their jobs. We think of the sheriff's department. Some of those men and women may be found in harm's way. We ask your protection and care over them and their families. And now, Lord, as we celebrate this Christmas season, we pray it'll be a time not of busyness, but of refreshment, restoration, renewal. And may we never forget that the Creator of the galaxies gave his greatest gift, his Son, Jesus Christ, in whose name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're now to item number 5, special order of business. The first special order of business is Quality Service Employee Award of the 4th quarter. And that person is Sam Haglund. Could you please join me at the podium? So Carrie Roy, who runs our Veteran Services, is here as well. So Sam was nominated by a couple of different people from the citizens of the county and veterans. So the first person wrote, Sam works long, hard hours to help the veterans find the right steps to get services that they deserve for defending our country. We tried every way we could to figure out how to get the benefits due my husband for his service fighting in the Vietnam War. After years of not knowing where or how to get the benefits, we finally found Sam, and he helped us each step of the way. He was very patient and always smiling. We thanked him for getting us those benefits. The second person wrote, I am a Vietnam vet, battling multiple cancers and health issues. My wife and I made an appointment to see Sam about filing for a disability claim with the Veterans Administration. Research told me it would be an uphill battle, as only 6% of the veterans with my type of cancer are approved for a disability. Upon meeting Sam, my wife and I knew that if anyone could do it, it would be Sam. He gave me the paperwork we needed to get started and what we needed to get from our doctors. We came back a few weeks later with the paperwork. Sam filed the claim, and lo and behold, 10 months later, we are approved for 100% disability. I tell you that me and my wife are very happy that Sam was a godsend. We cannot thank him enough for his cheerful and pleasant personality. God bless you, Sam. You are the man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Our second special order of business this morning is an update from downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. We have Kris Larson, the executive director, here with us today. Good morning, Kris.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the County Commission. I've got a lot to share with you. We've had an awesome year in downtown, but I'm going to honor your schedule and try to get this through this in about 10 minutes and see if you have any questions or comments. So, as a quick reminder, Downtown Grand Rapids, Inc. is the administrator of several public finance tools on behalf of the City of Grand Rapids, including the Downtown Development Authority and the Monroe North TIFA. Primary function, of course, is advancing economic development. This year, we supported 17 real estate projects in the downtown, catalyzing over $125 million in new investment and creating 483 jobs. We also have our hospitality ambassador program. Hopefully you've seen these folks in and around the downtown. We have over 250,000 interactions with the community at large, providing directions and other types of hospitality-like services, also providing escorts and removing graffiti and ultimately creating a safe and fun downtown. As an organization, we also respond to opportunities. This year we were very honored to be able to produce an event to celebrate the women's national team as they went on to win the World Cup, and had an event put together in only 4 days once we found out that they advanced to the finals. We've also decorated the downtown for the holiday season. I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of these decorations, which include our Winter Wonderland program, where we partner with 31 students at Kendall College and 17 businesses to create these great storefront displays all across the downtown. helps to drive vibrancy and create more of a more beautifully decorated downtown. Of course, our lighting program is always very popular, and so we've brought that back and then also expanded this year with some additional decorations along Division Avenue and into the Monroe North and Bridge Street areas. And then, of course, partnering with leadership like Charlie Secchi and John Enholzen on the Christmas tree project to be able to make sure that we had a Christmas tree this winter and to have that opening ceremony at Rosa Park Circle to be able to celebrate the beginning of the holiday season. Movies in the Park is a very popular program that we produce in the summertime. We had 6 films this year. And we do intercept surveys to be able to calculate the ROI from this program. Overall for the year, we had a 64% increase in attendance, had nearly 32,000 people attend our 6 free events in the park. We do attract more women than men, at least according to the responses that we had during our intercept surveys. Growing diversity and inclusion at our event is one of our major ambitions. This year we were able to increase our non-white attendance by nearly 30% over last year. Our draw comes primarily from the Kent County area, so you can see within the city and its near neighborhoods we get about half of our attendance, and then an additional third or so from the county at large, and then about 20% that come from further out. Primarily they arrive by car, but this year we were able to grow our arrivalship by bicycle or walking by 4x to 17% to the event, and also decreasing the cost to produce the event down to only $1,500. And so in leveraging the economic return of $664,000, we're able to get $441 of economic return for every dollar that we invest in this program. So we're very proud of the results that we're able to produce for the community, and a lot of that is done through key partnerships and sponsorships. This year increasing to 48, that's by 29 improvement. And then overall, people love our event, so we asked them just to rate us on a scale of 1 to 10. And you can see we're in the 90th percentile, so getting straight A's for this event. It's become one of the most beloved events in our summer series. And then lastly, I'm going to talk a little bit about GR Forward. GR Forward is our now adopted, so as of Tuesday night, update to the city's master plan, which provides an investment strategy for downtown and the river corridor, produced in concert and partnership with a number of key players, the foundation community, as well as the city, Grand Rapids Whitewater, and Grand Rapids Public Schools. And this effort helped to combine 4 different concurrent efforts to create one singular process by which we could approach an understanding of how the river could reposition our city, create a new waterfront city, while helping to protect vulnerable populations, particularly in the case of flood management. This was done through the most inclusive planning process in the city's history, with nearly 4,500 citizens engaged in multiple mediums and mechanisms. This is from an event that we partnered with Darius Quinn on your staff and the CIG to produce this event in concert with Experience Grand Rapids and the CIG. This is here at Equity Drinks, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And it all culminates with this vision and 6 goals to help to advance really how we organize our investment strategy. I'm going to run through these very quickly. Number 1 being an equitable river corridor, creating a tapered landscape environment that helps to accelerate economic development while providing that flood protection. Also increasing our parks access and connection via trail all the way down to Millennium Park and Lamoureux Park to the north, so connecting downtown through the larger regional area. Here's a piece that we have under construction right now. This is in the planning world, we call it Cowpath. It connects Coldbrook with Leonard, and this is under construction right now to help to create this environment here, which advances flood protection, provides a 15-foot multimodal access while responding to an improved river condition. So very exciting new thread that's really going to tie this entire series of 28 parks and open spaces, this emerald necklace of opportunities along our river, to really help to advance the way we approach the river as a key amenity that ties the city together. Here's a rendering from an urban context at Lion Square, where we help to carry through that trail system while advancing recreational access. Goal 2 is continuing to build a bustling downtown neighborhood that's home to a diverse population. And so here's a full build-out scenario for what it would take for us to achieve a critical mass in downtown. And for us, a critical mass defines the population needed that would be able to create and sustain a retail base in the downtown. That's one of the things we heard most often from the community, is a desire to see an improved retail amenity. And so it's very important for us that we respect neighborhood integrity and character, and so we have an appropriate transition and scale for placing buildings and being able to accommodate growth, and really focusing growth on key areas, particularly some underutilized sets and some public assets like 201 Market, which serves an important role right now of storing salt for the city. But once we can realize that that 6 acres has a higher and better use, we begin to think about how to blend development intensity while really responding to what's happening in the river in this condition. And this is where the boats will need to get out of the water. So after they've gone down through the rapids, this is where we'll need to get them out. And so we want to make sure that those parks and open spaces respond to that new condition. Also, connecting to the neighborhoods is critical. We want to make sure that this is an amenity that the neighborhoods all feel a sense of ownership over. This isn't a downtown amenity. This is an amenity for the city and the region. And so it's really important that we think about how to create that level of connectivity. On the near west side, some real opportunities for continuing to grow and advance a west side downtown neighborhood. And so looking at some infill projects on some DDA-owned parcels over there. Affordable housing is also critical to this conversation, and so we have set a very aggressive housing target of a 30% threshold for affordable housing, which means that in the process of being able to achieve critical mass, we've got to work to develop an additional 2,091 affordable units in downtown, and so that creates some challenges, but some real opportunities for us to achieve what many cities have not. Goal 3 is about the way we move in the downtown, and so really wanting to create more equity and mobility. Fully 1/3 of Americans do not have the privilege of being able to have car ownership, and so really wanting to make sure that we are creating ways for all people to get around the downtown, and so creating a balanced mobility system that places pedestrians at the forefront, and while accommodating universal design and repositioning some of our current assets like the Dash system to better serve those places that people want to go to in our downtown. So really creating more of a circulation network for getting people around. Here you can see a little bit of a dead pedestrian zone, so repositioning some of these assets to help to prioritize the pedestrian while creating protected bicycle environments and other mechanisms to connect the neighborhoods, near neighborhoods, to the downtown. Goal 4 is economic development. One of our biggest challenges in the downtown, and this is, I think, a reflection of the great ride that we've had over the last 35 years, is that we've rehabbed most of the buildings in the downtown. And so in some cases that has priced out some of our young and startup type companies who are looking for cheap space to be able to grow within. And so this means that we've got to play a proactive role in thinking through how we can accommodate job growth while also being able to advance innovation and entrepreneurship. And so these become some critical ambitions for us as we understand. We built a profile of all of the companies working through various stages of startup to understand how their individual needs would translate into space needs within the downtown. And that helps us to think more proactively about how to preserve some of that light industrial property that's on the edges of the downtown, maybe even above and beyond the DDA boundary, where we're going to need additional partners to help to preserve some of that space to allow those companies to grow here in the city and the county. And then goal 5 is the space between buildings, wanting to make sure that we position this to be something more beloved. And so really thinking about the public realm as a great identity defining element of the downtown. So looking for new opportunities for parks and open spaces throughout the downtown. And then repositioning some of our current open spaces that maybe are underutilized a little bit. Happy to say that right now we're partnering with the county and the city and rethinking Calder Plaza. So Mary Swanton is serving on that steering committee on the county's behalf to think about how to integrate it back into the network and really to create what I like to describe as a convention center floor. So a plug-and-play environment that can be much more accommodating for events. Not permanent installations, but creating a lot of opportunity to respond to opportunities in a scalable way. So they can transition very easily to scale to intimate events, to very large gatherings of people, while then also opening it up. One of the things about Calder Plaza is that if you don't know it's there, particularly from the convention center, you can't see it because there's a big wall there. So really wanting to open it up and transition Calder Plaza to be a space that better serves the community at large. Reconnecting our community, particularly recognizing the impact that the S-curve has in the downtown, thinking about how to transition those overpasses into becoming character and neighborhood defining elements, so introducing artistic elements and other pieces that will help to define neighborhood character. And then lastly, goal 6, working in concert with GRPS, is about the opportunity to create excellent public schools in the downtown, really recreating an environment where kids can walk to school again. And so they have just opened their museum middle school, but then we've also developed a master plan for Innovation Central High. And so working in concert with the neighborhood to make sure that we're blurring that line between campus and neighborhood, and really to create a shared amenity, even putting community gardens, other type elements on the campus here, so to reintroduce high-quality pre-K through 12 education in the downtown to support our growing population. Last slide, and then I will be finished, is that I would also like to thank Chair Korndike, as well as Wayman Britt, and Matthew Van Zetten for their partnership and working with us in the City of Grand Rapids on a crucial piece of implementation, which is our application to HUD for our Federal Resiliency Program called the Grand Strategy. And so it was an amazing partnership this year that came together to build an ask for over $230 million to implement a lot of what you see here. And so I just want to thank you all for your continued support and our growing partnership to help to build a great downtown for the city and the county.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the information. Questions or comments this morning? Commissioner Antor.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning.
It's really exciting stuff.
Thank you.
What's happened in the last couple of years. My question is concerning parking. You know, I watched Field of Dreams the other day, and at the end of that movie, they said, you know, if you build it, they will come. And at the end of the movie, it shows thousands of cars rolling into this ball field. Of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, where are they all going to park? Yeah. And I've seen kind of a expanding footprint here. You know, lots of stuff going on, but I didn't see, maybe I missed it, but I didn't see much about parking, maybe municipal park or parking lots or something to, because right now, for people that understand downtown that, you know, drive in and out here a lot, we know where those little nooks and crannies are, those little lots, but for people coming into town, sometimes it's a challenge.
Yeah.
I was just wondering how you address it.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. And I blew through a very thick document with J.R. Ford. Chapter 3 does include about 15 pages specifically on parking management improvements, looking how to increase efficiency of our current system. So right now, even at peak period, we have only 68% utilization of our parking assets in downtown. So as we think about how to manage that system to get the most of it, how can we use pricing to optimize utilization? So that's a piece of this, but also expanding supply where it makes sense. So for new developments, particularly new developments on some of those DDA surface lots as an example, we are working with developers to make sure that we are creating more replacement parking than currently exists. So we want to be able to manage what we currently have, replace it where needed, but overall make sure that we're getting the most out of the land, and so that the land can help to produce the jobs and the housing and the other opportunities to grow our city. But I would encourage you to look at Goal 3 if you want to see more of that detail.
Commissioner Bukowski.
Yeah, just want to say thank you. Some people might think you went fast, but I think you've been at that speed for about 18 months in this planning process, and so I've had the opportunity to meet with you more in my day job role. Definitely appreciate the openness to universal design accessibility for everybody. We see that in there, having read the whole document, so it's great stuff. So and I love the focus that this really is a regional asset. I'll leave it at that. So thank you so much, and look forward to the implementation.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Other questions or comments for Chris this morning? Thank you very much for your update, Chris. We
look forward to seeing you again next year.
Keep our fingers crossed for as much money as we can get from that object.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, we'll now go to item 6, public comment. If anyone from the public would like to address this board, please step to the podium, name and address, and you have up to 5 minutes, please. Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Jack Greenfield. I'm President and CEO of Arbor Circle. We're a mental health and substance use nonprofit organization in our community, and I'm just here to thank you for considering an extension of a lease that you will be looking at for our organization. It's a 50-year lease, and so it's interesting to me that that's a very strong relationship and partnership between nonprofit organizations that deal with emotional health and the county, and I really appreciate that very much. it's interesting to see all the complexities of what you have to deal with and the exciting opportunities that we have. And I'm really pleased that many of you are supporting the emotional health of our community as well, because that is another vital issue. So I'm also here to thank all of the commissioners that have been a part of the Network 180 system and providers of supporters of emotional health in our community, and especially those commissioners that are currently a part of that process. Thank you very much for all you do, because it's a very important issue. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, seeing nothing, we'll move to item 7, our consent agenda, and I will call on Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move the consent agenda.
Support. Motion by Commissioner Morgan, support by Vice Chair Softfeld. Questions or comments on anything on this consent agenda? If not, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Antor.
Yes.
Bolter.
Yes.
Greavy.
Yes.
Bulkowski.
Yes.
Shivas.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Mass.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Ponstein.
Yes.
Sawfeld.
Yes.
Schroel.
Yes.
Talon.
Yes.
Vandermolen.
Yes.
Vonk.
Yes.
Chair.
Yes, that carries. We'll now go to item 8, our resolutions, and I will call on Commissioner Vandermolen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Resolution 113 dated today. It's the addition of 1 circuit court judge, 2 circuit court clerks, 1 assistant prosecuting attorney, and 2 corrections officers.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Vandermolen, support by Commissioner Schroel. Questions or comments on this resolution? Commissioner Ponstein.
Thank you, Chair Korndike. I'm not going to rehash all my comments from the legislative meeting. There's been a lot of talk over the years about unfunded state mandates. In front of us today, in black and white, we have an unfunded state mandate. And it's interesting to see that this past week, the state could find billions of dollars in tax breaks, but they still don't live up to their obligations to counties. If we keep passing these things, then we need to stop complaining about unfunded mandates.
Other questions or comments on this resolution? Commissioner Mass.
Well, you know, we talked about this at our Wyoming-Kentwood Chamber, and there were a couple questions about that. But I think all of us agreed that justice served on time is what's important, and so we're just running behind in our county. So our need is to step up and to accept the challenge to find funding, roughly $500,000 a year to operate this. We've got money, of course, to spend on the capital improvements, but this will help our citizens, and so we're responsible for those. So I will be voting for it.
Thank you. Others? Okay. I would just like to say that thank the subcommittee for their work on this proposal for adding an additional judge. It isn't something they came to quickly. It's actually something that started back in 2013. And we did plan for this. So in 2013, we passed on adding a judge so we could build capital into our budgets the last few years, so we could then make this appointment and feel much more comfortable with the finances. So I think it was a great process. I thank the subcommittee for all their work, and I look forward to this passing. With that, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Antor.
Yes.
Bolter.
Yes.
Greavy.
Yes.
Bulkowski.
Yes.
Shivas.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Mass.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Ponstein.
No.
Sawfeld.
Yes.
Schroel.
Yes.
Talon.
Yes.
Vandermolen.
Yes.
Vonk.
Yes.
Chair.
Yes, that carries. I'll now call on Commissioner Mass.
Thank you, Chair. I move Resolution 114, which is the county entering into agreement with the dispatch authority, and I move that resolution that's before us.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Mass, support by Commissioner Schroel. Questions or comments on this resolution? All right, seeing nothing, this is not a roll call vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. I'll now call on Commissioner Vonk.
Thank you, Chair. I'll move Resolution 115, today's date. Approval of agreements required for FFA for application for transfer Part 139 operating certificate.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Vonk, support by Commissioner Schroel. Questions or comments on this resolution? Commissioner Morgan.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. All right. I believe this is the last piece of the process, and I just would like to recognize a few things that this started
about 2 years ago with our governance subcommittee that was chaired by David Slickers, who did just a great job moving this process forward. Also like to recognize the board chair, Daryl, Mary Swanson, Tom Dempsey, and our CEO of the Aeronautics Board for pushing this process along. It's amazing that if you hang around long enough, you get to be part of something special, and I think this is special. And so as we move along, you never want to forget that through the process of some of these adventures and processes, you get to meet some very interesting, talented people. And Kent County and the area is blessed to have talented people that is willing to come together and pursue things that I just think we have a different set of citizenry that's willing to do that, and that's what makes us so strong. And I would like a roll call vote, not for political reasons, Commissioner Talent, but just to put my name on a yes. So, if that's okay, Mr. Chair.
Certainly. So it'll be a roll call vote. Other questions or comments on this resolution? I would like to also thank Commissioner Schroll for serving on that committee as well. I think it was a great process. I think this is a fantastic move for the citizens of our county and our region to have this type of a airport in our community as an economic driver and probably the biggest asset we have. So with that, this is a roll call vote. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Antor.
Yes.
Bolter.
Yes.
Reevy.
Yes.
Bulkowski.
Yes.
Shivas.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Mast.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Honstein.
Yes.
Sawfelt.
Yes.
Schroel.
Yes.
Talon.
Yes.
Vandermolen.
Yes.
Vonk.
Yes.
Chair.
Yes, that carries unanimously. Thank you, everybody. I'll now call in Commissioner Mast.
I move resolution, where are we here? Resolution 116, which involves increasing the jury fees. Since that is not actually an expenditure of ours, it's a non-roll call vote, but I move that resolution.
Support. Motion by Commissioner Mast, support by Vice Chair Sawfelt. Questions or comments on this resolution? All right, seeing nothing, this is not a roll call vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That carries. I'm calling Commissioner Mast once again.
And thank you very much. I appreciated Jack Greenfield's comments. They are a very vital part of our community mental health service system, primarily to families and children. So it's with great pleasure and great satisfaction that I move Resolution 117, granting them another 50-year lease with a child guidance clinic for property located at 1115 Ball Avenue. I move that resolution.
Support. Motion and support. Can we quickly amend that? Darrell?
The resolution is fine. It's a 5-year lease with 2 one-year renewals.
Why does it say 50?
It was a 50-year
history.
There's a 50-year history.
Okay.
65.
He said 50, and I was, okay. I got.
Do we have that, Madam Clerk? Sure. Okay.
The resolution is right.
Right.
I just said it wrong.
Okay, that's okay. Motion by
Because he said it.
Commissioner Mast and support by
I'll support.
Commissioner Hennessy. Thank you. Any questions or comments on this lease? Commissioner Bonstein.
Thank you, Chair Cornick. I just want to take this opportunity to thank Jack and his staff at Arbor Circle. Over the past years, the amount of cuts that mental health services have been taking, the level of service that they still provide the community is outstanding. I want to take this opportunity to thank Jack and his staff.
Thank you. Commissioner Vandermolen.
Thank you, Chair. This is just another good example of county government and the private sector working together to accomplish stuff that needs to get done. And so I'm happy to be a part of that. And Harold, in 1965, I wasn't here when they made the original 50-year lease, but maybe you were. I don't know.
Others? All right, see nothing. This is not a roll call vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That carries. I'll call on Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move Resolution 118, transfer to support building construction, renovations, fixtures, and equipment from fiscal services.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Morgan, support by Commissioner Scholl. Questions or comments on this resolution? Commissioner Bolter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to as you guys know, I was one of the people that did not support the original bonding process that we originally voted on. And so I just want to be sure we are simply moving with this resolution the $5 million into the CIP. This is not specifically appropriating that money to the new bonding project, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions or comments? Seeing nothing, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Antor.
Yes.
Bolter.
Yes.
Reeve.
Yes.
Bulkowski.
Yes.
Shivas.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Mast.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Ponstein.
Yes.
Sawfeld.
Yes.
Schroel.
Yes.
Talon.
Yes.
Vandermolen.
Yes.
Vonk.
Yes.
Chair.
Yes, that carries. I'll now call on Vice Chair Salfeld.
Thank you, Chair. I move motion 119 regarding labor agreements.
Support.
Motion by Vice Chair Salfeld, support by Commissioner Schroll. Questions or comments on this resolution? Right. Seeing nothing, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Antor.
Yes.
Bolter.
Yes.
Reeve.
Yes.
Bulkowski.
Yes.
Shivas.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Mast.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Ponstein.
Yes.
Sawfeld.
Yes.
Schroel.
Yes.
Talon.
Yes.
Vandermolen.
Yes.
Vonk.
Yes.
Chair.
Yes, that carries. I'll now call on Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, Chair. I move Resolution 120 of today's date, Two Rivers Park Expansion, Estate of Robert E. Welton.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Jones, support by Commissioner Breve. Questions or comments on this resolution? Commissioner Ponstein.
Thank you, Chair Thorndike. My predecessor, I think, voted against every park expansion acquisition before me. The only comments I've got to make is that we've made lots of cuts to our parks over the past 7-8 years, and it's the park that's closest to me. One of the best part of Johnson Park is the river frontage. That's still not maintained. It's overgrown. It's one of the spots that people use the most. I find it interesting that we keep expanding our park system, yet we don't have a secure funding system to maintain them at proper levels for the county to enjoy. And until we get more fiscal responsibility into the park systems on how we're going to maintain them, I can't see how we can support expanding even more land acquisition into our park system without those answers. So for that reason, I'm voting no on this.
Anybody else? Commissioner Hennessy.
I'm going to support this because I will support the not new parkland right now because of the concerns voiced by Commissioner Ponstein, but where we have contiguous land and contiguous expansion of existing parks, that I support and think that it's worthwhile to do while we have the opportunity. And as Commissioner Ponstein intimated, I do hope we have a larger conversation, and I think it's been started and will continue in terms of how we support our parks.
Thank you. Anybody else? Right. Seeing nothing, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Antor.
Yes.
Bolter.
Yes.
Reeve.
Yes.
Bulkowski.
Yes.
Shivas.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Mast.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Ponstein.
No.
Sawfeld.
Yes.
Schroel.
Yes.
Talon.
Yes.
Vandermolen.
Yes.
Vonk.
Yes.
Chair.
Yes, that carries. I'll now call on Vice Chair Salfeld.
Thank you, Chair. I would move motion 121, which is an agreement with Peter Secchia for a testamentary gift for development at the Meadows of Millennium Park.
Support.
Motion by Vice Chair Salfeld, support by Commissioner Mass. Questions or comments on this resolution? Commissioner Morgan.
Is this the first testamentary, that's a big word for me, gift that we've processed, and is it a template that we can use in the future, or how does that fit? I know that we bonded, and that was something very unique for the Secchia family.
This is the first of this kind. Whether or not we choose to use it as a template for the future would probably depend on how it works.
Okay.
In this instance.
I can appreciate that, I guess.
Anybody else? Vice Chair Soffold.
Thank you, Chair. I just again would like to echo comments I made at the Finance Committee and thank Peter Secchia for his support with what is going on out at the Meadows of Millennium Park. He is really invested in this project. He's really contributed a lot to it, and it's great to see an opportunity for a public-private interaction like this for the benefit of the whole community.
Commissioner Antor. Thank you, Chair.
I too would like to thank the Secchia family. I've often said that without really a handful of families around the Grand Rapids area, so much of this stuff doesn't happen without this private money coming in. We can govern all we want, but at the end of the day, it's been really a handful of families, including Peter Secchia, that has financed all this. And we're so, I know I'm appreciative, and I think everybody else is. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, then I too am going to echo the sentiments on the Secchia family for everything they do for this county, the park system, and even other things. Charlie Secchia, as Kris Larson mentioned, was a big driver in getting the tree in front of the Graham lit this year. So that's the next generation of Secchias coming down, and I think they'll just continue to do great things in helping this community and partnering along with the county, and I certainly appreciate that. So with that, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Antor.
Yes.
Bolter.
Yes.
Breeby.
Yes.
Bukowski.
Yes.
Shivas.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Mass.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Constein.
Yes.
Sawfeld.
Yes.
Schroll.
Yes.
Talon.
Yes.
Vandermolen.
Yes.
Vonk.
Yes.
Chair.
Yes, that carries. So with that, we have a lot of big stuff that we just passed. I'm not sure if everyone realizes that or not, but one of the things that I was proud to do in the 3 years that I was chair is push Daryl hard for a communications director, and now we have a very, very talented person in that position, Lisa LaPlante. And there will be press releases going out on 3 of these resolutions, the adding the new judge, the transition of the airport to an authority, and the Secchia Family Park donation. So with that, thank you very much for your work, Lisa. Thank you, Daryl, for finally relenting on that. And thank you, everyone here, for passing all this stuff. And we've done 121 resolutions this year. That's a lot of stuff, a lot of good things happening in the county. Very happy for that. And I thank you all for showing up and working hard and pushing this county forward in a successful way it has been pushed forward in the last year. With that, we're to item 9, public comment. Is there any public comment this morning? This is your second chance, and you have 1 minute. All right, we'll then move to item 10, reports, and the first person I would like to call on is Commissioner Mast to read a proclamation, and then we're going to do a press release on this as well.
Yes,
Go ahead,
okay.
Commissioner.
Let me go that one first. I want to talk about Network 182, but
Okay.
what I'm presenting, and I won't read the whole proclamation, but the Department of Health and Human Services of Michigan is asking us to participate with them in a stepping up resolution, it's called, basically stepping up to the plate and continue our work that we have been doing the last 2 to 5 years with treating people with mental illness in our county jail. 2 years ago, the funding that we were able to give to it really dried up as our budget decreased. The state stepped forward with a mental health diversion council, and we've been operating 2015 and we'll operate 2016 with that grant. But after 2016, we're going to be having to find some additional money. A lot of counties throughout the nation are facing that whole issue, and they're finding that by providing proactive mental health treatment to inmates as they come into the jail and diverting as many as they can, it really saves money, as well as treating these individuals. So we've been asked to step up, and there's a proclamation that I put together that was suggested by the county, Wayman Britt's office, and our Department of Mental Health staff put that together along with Ross Batendorp. And it's signed by Dan Korndike, the chair, Larry Stelma, the sheriff, Benice Chandler, the director of Family Outreach Center, who is the provider of the jail mental health services, myself as chair of community mental health, and Scott Gilman, executive director of community mental health. So I would like that resolution or that proclamation included in the minutes, and then we're going to be sending it on. And there will be, as Chair Korndike says, a nicely written immediate release, and so we'll see how many of those 4 get presented in the paper. Thank you very much, Lisa, for a nicely put together press release.
Thank you.
Any questions from anybody? But otherwise, That's something that we will hopefully be able to participate on a national level, a national summit that's going to be called in mid-April to improve funding, improve services, to build on what we already have. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Morgan, anything?
I think I've said enough.
Commissioner Dallin?
And Chair, I know we've spent time on the DDA already, but we did meet last week, and I'll just highlight two things. One is, and you may have read about this in the paper, we approved a repair of a sculpture in Naboan Park called Lori's Button. I used to ride by that almost every day when I worked up by the, on my bicycle, when I worked up by the fish ladder, and there were kids on that all the time. It's a cool piece of public art, but it's in pretty bad disrepair, so that's happening. And then just wanted to note that in addition to Mary Swanson, Lisa LaPlante will be part of that Calder Plaza Steering Committee. So the county will be well represented in design efforts that are going on for the plaza.
Great. Thank you for that. Thank you for your work. Other reports? Then we'll move to...
I do want to, if I could indulge the board's discretion. Just a report about Network 180. I think either Commissioner Steck or myself or Commissioner Talon, who serves on the board, as well as Commissioner Brevi, have mentioned some of this. But today is a critical meeting of the Lakeshore Regional Partnership. And Stan Steck is our representative, at least the county commission representative on that board.
And that's why he's not here this morning.
I think that's why he's not here this morning. At least I hope so, because I hope he's there tonight, this afternoon. We face a critical juncture. I think we've reported that the state was very disappointed in the function and the operation of the Lakeshore Regional Partnership, did a special audit. That audit now has been presented. The Lakeshore Regional Board has until January 25 to come up with a response. The state has expressed skepticism whether or not we can do that. We are horrified as Network 180 and a county community mental health system here in Kent County, because we're the largest provider. I think we've been doing a very good job to see some of our efforts during the past 5 years, 10 years, go to waste. So Matthew Van Zenten, and with the blessing of Wayman, has really been kicking in. And Matthew is a wonderful staff member. We have a very creative human service individual, and I would suspect that's where he's at right now too, to try to craft something that in the event the Lakeshore Regional Board doesn't accept or accepts actually the interim executive director's proposal, that we have an alternate. And it's going to be a critical vote today. Stan has been behind the scenes, I think, doing a lot of work. The board meeting is at Network 180 today. It's in Kent County this week, this time. So just stand by, I guess. There's lots of funding issues, lots of organizational issues, lots of government issues, lots of political issues. So going on. And hopefully we can continue to provide the good services that we do.
Great. Thank you
So
for
that's
that. Thank you for your work.
my report.
Commissioner Morgan.
Miscellaneous?
Yes, we're now into miscellaneous.
I'd like to start off by saying thank you for your last 3 years of leadership, Mr. Chairman. As the dust settles, not having sat in that chair, you're going to get used to not being in that chair, but it's going to take about a year. But the legacy of this airport, I hope that when you reflect on it, is just a huge, huge accomplishment, and I want to commend your leadership and thank you for it.
Thank you. Other miscellaneous this morning. Commissioner Ponstein.
Thank you, Chair Korndike. I also want to thank you, Dan, for your service to the county in the past 3 years. Also want to wish the residents of Kent County a Merry Christmas, and those that don't celebrate, if there's something else you celebrate, I hope it's an enjoyable time for you. I just wanted to comment on the Lakeshore Regional Entity. I sat on that board too, and I think I was a very vocal opponent of it right out of the gate, but this once again is a classic example of an area that the state had no business in. And I think the results of this have shown just a complete mismanagement of what they set out to do, the rush that they put it through, and what the end results are going to end up at. And it is a critical time, but it's going to be very interesting what happens over the next year, because I always stated that the whole plan of this wasn't to improve mental health services in the state of Michigan, but it was a way to privatize them to private companies. So I'll wait and hold my breath on how all this reacts. But once again, we're in this problem today, not because of something Network 180 did or the county. This is put on us by the state of Michigan.
Thank you. Commissioner Antor.
Thank you, Chair. Dan, I'd like to thank you too for your leadership. It's been a nice run, and looking forward to working under Jim and his leadership. And after, the last couple of winters, which have been two of the coldest, snowiest on record, it's kind of nice to have this El Nino rolling through. And I'd like to, in spite of the lack of snow, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Enjoy the green grass. I've been out golfing, I think, 4 times in the last 2 weeks. And really, at the end of the day, it's really not about the snow. It's about the spirit. And I just wanted to remind everybody that there is a group of individuals down at the Veterans Home. A lot of them don't have families. And this time of year, it's pretty tough. And we're losing 22 veterans every day across the country to suicide as a result of PTSD or other mental disorders. So we have a lot of guys down there that have no family. They could use a little company. They love anybody that comes down to spend some time. Let them tell you a few jokes, hang out for a bit. They'll always welcome you in, so I'd just like to, if you get a moment over the holiday season, go on down and say hello. And again, everybody, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Commissioner Breeden.
Yeah, Dan, I just wanted to thank you again for your service as board chair the last few years. And I am looking forward to Jim, too. We have a lot of great things yet to accomplish. Over the weekend, last week, I was able to do 2 different proclamations for 2 South Christian basketball coaches. And I just wanted to recognize them. Coach Hiskis had coached the men's team for many years. He's also a teacher at South who does social studies, was my government teacher in high school and kind of influential in my decision process here. And also Coach Jim DeBryan. He was a great coach that I played under for a little while and went to many of his camps, and he's had some health issues over the last year or so, and so he decided to step down. But many wins between those 2 guys and many students that they mentored, and just really great opportunities for those students to have them as leaders. So just wanted to thank them for their service as well. And Merry Christmas to all.
Thank you. Commissioner Talon.
Thank you, Chair. Never thought I'd say this. When 20-some years ago, Chair Korndike ran against me twice for election to the Kent County Commission. But Dan, I'd just like to express my appreciation as well. You've been steady, you've been fair, you've been a great leader for this county. I appreciate that. And you've always kept Kent County citizens as your priority, so thank you for your leadership.
Thank you. Commissioner Hennessy.
I support what Commissioner Talon just said. And as we look at change going forward, Grand Rapids as a city is going to be changing, and they'll be delivering the oath of office today. Yesterday there was a wonderful public reception for the outgoing mayor and commissioners and mayor's secretary. And then today there'll be the oath of office at 6 o'clock, and Rosalind Bliss will be installed as the first woman to serve as mayor, having won election very handily.
Thank you. Commissioner Salvo.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair, for all you've done over the last 3 years. I personally appreciate it. A lot of issues that we worked on together, and a lot of behind-the-scenes things to keep things moving, and as Commissioner Talon aptly noted, was ultimately for the benefit of the county, not any kind of agenda. That is a real honor, and it was honor for me to serve with you in that regard. We do want to thank you and celebrate that with you. We have a cake, so I would ask all our commissioners to stay after the meeting for a little bit and join in that. And I'd finally like to finish by offering an applause for the job well done.
Commissioner Volkowski.
All right. Echoing first Commissioner Hennessy on the congratulations to the incoming mayor next door and the changes that will bring there. Also want to echo Commissioner Ponstein's three comments related to the squirreliness out of our state capitol. I'm led to believe that every representative and senator lives in a county and lives in a city or a township or village in this state, and almost every day I doubt that. I am totally shocked by too many of their decisions when they can give away $600 million from the general fund, say it's nothing but extra money, and and they haven't seen the last 15 years of budget cuts, and so that's, I'll leave it at that for now, other than to say, continuing the theme of Network 180, with my day job, Disability Advocates will be hosting some focus groups and community meetings related to some of the changes that are proposed. So that email doesn't get lost in your inbox. You will be invited to those things. I'm sure you'll be hearing from your constituents about those changes, the pro and the con, and it's to put them out in the community and get people's comment. It's not a done deal, waiting for things simply to be approved. And then my last echo is Commissioner Talon's comments and everybody else's to thank you, Chair. As my one and only Chair, in my tenure on this board, thank you for your role model of what it means to be a good commissioner and a good leader for our community. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Commissioner Bolter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also want to echo everyone's comments and thank you for kind of getting us through some tough times in the beginning of my time here. And I also wanted to thank the Kent County Health Department and their staff for all their work with the shelter. The Bolter family adopted a shelter dog this month, and they had record numbers. I think they went from 4 adoptions a day to 12. The staff was fantastic, and we've broken, I think, a record for the year of over 1,029. I'm sure I'm screwing this up, but anyway, so I just wanted to thank you, and I just wanted to recognize that. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right. And I just have a few comments. I asked Daryl if he could come up with some of the highlights for the last 3 years that have been done at the county. And I put my list together, and his was 5 pages. Mine was a half page. So sort of condensed them to go over some of the highlights from 2013. First of all, when we started 2013, it was election 2012, so we had some commissioners here that aren't here anymore. So right now, there's 5 commissioners that are here now that weren't here 3 years ago. The first thing we did in 2013 was I declared a state of emergency for flooding in April. That was a big deal, something totally unexpected. But the positive from that is it's allowed us to apply for this HUD grant that Kris mentioned earlier this morning to possibly get $200 and some million to help develop the Kent County area against flooding into the future. And no matter what anyone says, the person that came up with that was Jack Stewart from Kent County. And along with Linda Howell, Matthew Britt, and Wayman Benzett, and they have been the drivers behind it. So no matter what you hear from whoever is taking credit for those are the 4 people that really deserve all that credit. Thank you very much for that. Also, K-Connect was formed in 2013 with Wayman and Matthew driving that. We transitioned the John Ball Park Zoo operations from a private to a private nonprofit organization. Mary Swanson did a lot of great work on that. Thank you for your work there, Mary. And we had our first of 3 commissioner resignations at the end of 2013. We moved through that, I thought, worked quite well. We replaced those 3 commissioners in a matter of months. And by April 1st of 2014, we were up and running with a full complement of 19 commissioners once again. Also in 2014, we transitioned the Cedar Springs Police Department into the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Stelma had a lot to do with that. Thank you, Sheriff, for your leadership there, and I hear it's running very well. So another big thing we did. We also did collaboration with the financial management system with the City of Grand Rapids and a couple of counties. We did the Airport Authority Governance Subcommittee. It was created, and they presented their recommendation in 2014. We opened the New South Clinic on Kalamazoo Avenue and offered, for the first time, dental care. So Wayman was a big part of that. Thank you, Wayman, for your work there. We also had the Health Department receive a national accreditation. So Adam, London, a lot of great work. Really appreciate what you did for us and what you continue to do for us at the Health Department. 2014, we had our airport legislation adopted and signed by the governor. That was quite a day and quite an event, and has allowed us to move to where we are with the airport. We also had 3 years of reconfirming our AAA bond rating with the New York rating agencies, and we did 3 structurally balanced budgets in 2013, 14, and 15. That's something everyone here should be proud of, and I know I am. We also had our veteran services move to a new location, and we passed a millage to help veterans in Kent County to get more services that they certainly have earned. The Secchia family was involved in the sheriff's new equestrian service operations center up in Rockford, along with the sheriff, another great venue that will help this county into the future. We did something a little contentious. We passed a solid waste ordinance, something that I truly think was needed, and I think will help this county into the future financially in the long run, and also environmentally. So I think it was an important thing, and I'm glad that we have different perspectives from the county, so everyone gets to weigh in, whether it's popular or not. If something needs to be done, we can tackle it and we can get it done. Millennium Park had a record-breaking year, 50% over what they broke the record for in 2014. They did in 2015. The Secchia Meadows financing collaboration begun, and we saw more of that again today. Again, the Secchia family does great things, along with many other families in our community, that we wouldn't be successful as a county without their involvement and their support on every different level. I know the DeVos family does a lot out at the airport and has helped us tremendously in that endeavor as well. Lakeshore Regional Partnership to sort of try to save the mental health services in Kent County. Important work. Thank you for that work. All the commissioners that serve on mental health, Commissioner Talon and Mast and Breevy, and Commissioner Steck, who's actually doing that work right now, and that's why he's not here today. With that, I'd like to thank all the staff and all the commissioners for everything they do to make our county a better place to live and work. And with that, I'll call on Commissioner Morgan for a motion to adjourn.
Sure. Let me find it here.
You don't know it by heart by now?
No, I got caught up in all this festivity. I'd like to move to adjourn, subject to call of the chair, to Tuesday, January 5th, 2016, 8:30 for an official meeting.
Motion support. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned. Merry Christmas, everybody.
I am Kent County. I am Kent County.
I am Kent County.
We are 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 Kent County.
Beya, Kent County. Ami, Kent County.
Somos Kent County.
Mas Ira, Kent County.
We are Kent County.
We are Kent County. We are Kent County. Oh yeah.